We are live for Empire State of Baseball, episode number 137 on this Monday, August the 18th, 2025, airing on Instagram, X, and YouTube, and as always, powered by StreamYard. And of course, we're a chorus of 5 now. I was about to say 4. And little Teddy just joined the shot. Teddy, how you doing today? What do you think of baseball?
Say hi.
Hello there.
Teddy, take a big dump right now. Pull a Cal Raleigh. Big dump.
That would be incredible.
Oh, man.
That would be incredible. Well, at least this past weekend, the Mets got the better of Cal Raleigh and the Seattle Mariners this weekend. We'll get more into the New York Mets, but who the hell knows? They keep talking about realignment here, Corey Favs. I don't even know what division these teams are going to be playing for over the next few seasons.
Listen, who knows? I mean, we might be going from a cross-league show to an interdivision show. Ultimately, we'll see what happens. I mean, there's talk of expansion. We'll see what expansion brings, what cities will end up getting teams. And there's a couple of ways to look at it. You know, if you want to go purely based off distance and ignore rivalries, ignore locations, ignore history, purely geographical. Ironically, the Mets and Yankees would be in the same divisions, arguably with their two best rivals as well. Yankees and Red Sox, biggest rivalry in baseball. They're still geographically would be in the same division. Mets and Phillies geographically would still be in the same division. That would be the most toxic division in baseball if those four were in the same division. But we'll see what happens.
If the Mets and Yankees end up in the same division, Corey Favs, I don't even think we can host this show on a weekly basis. This may have to be a bi-daily kind of show here. We might have to go every other day on
it would change everything.
What do you think, Tom?
I think we need to stop pretending like that division that I think was Heyman put out there, whoever. That's never going to happen. It's not. They're not going to put those teams in the same division. It can't happen. It's fun. Yeah, it'd be toxic, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen unless Major League Baseball goes to a salary cap, because you can't have 4 of the top 6 spending teams in the same division. You cannot do that. There's no way. So it's funny. It's, conversation starter. They're probably going to do some sort of realignment if they do expansion, but unless there's a salary cap, which God, we'll see what happens in the 2027 when we get locked out. Those divisions aren't happening.
Well, so here's the thing, right? The MLB can use it as a negotiating tactic with the union, and you could say that, okay, we're not going to institute a salary cap, but what we are going to do to make to control the higher spending teams is put them in the same division, so you guarantee that a high payroll team gets knocked off every single year. There is the argument for that if you're looking to increase parity in the league. It's to put the coastal teams together. There's 2 ways of looking at expansion, right? There is the NBA, NHL model of expansion, which is super divisions, East versus West. And then there's what the NFL did, which is AFC, NFC, preserving the history of the 2 leagues when it was the AFL and NFL, and do it that way where it's 4 division teams in each league. I am more for that, because in the AL you can have Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, and Blue Jays, for example. Keep it pretty regionalized across each of the 4 divisions. You're going to have some teams are going to have to switch. Colorado, for example, I think Colorado would go right to the AL. That's a team that doesn't have historical ties to the NL, for example. So you can make that switch and nobody really care, a la what the Astros did. But that is the other argument, and to me would be a better argument. You have the Mets, Phillies, Nationals, and Pirates, for example, in one division. The Braves moved to a South division with the Florida Marlins. Nashville's getting a team. There is no city that is guaranteed to get a team. That is the closest to guarantee that you're getting. Nashville's getting a team.
Absolutely.
They can go into the South region.
With the Rays with them.
Yeah, I think Portland's going to be at the top of the list to reduce travel with Seattle. That's just my opinion. Or Salt Lake. If one of those two get a team, they can go out with Seattle, Las Vegas, and Colorado. You could do that.
Did you mention Montreal?
I don't think they go back to Montreal. They've been there. They've done that. I think they want to give two new cities a chance. That's my opinion. And I think the desire to reduce Seattle's travel is really heavy. So I can't see them putting two teams on the East Coast and the West Coast getting nothing. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Rich, we went through. I did a little exercise, and we'll save this for an off-season topic. But I think there's a good chance that is the solution is keep AL, keep NL. You can regionalize it. 4 teams per division. Each division winner gets in 2 wild cards. Okay, if you want a third wild card, we could do a third wild card. Actually, we're on 3 wild cards.
We're gonna do. Yeah, it's there. There's no going back on expanded playoffs. I think one thing that is just upsetting or whatever about what they're gonna probably do is teams have leagues have always been about making money, right? They have to make money. They have to do their best to make as much money as they can. But it seems like there used to be more creativity to do so, and now it's just okay, we just need to add teams and we need to add playoffs because playoffs make more money, and that's just we will do whatever it takes to get more playoffs and more teams, and that's and that's why hopefully Joe, what you're talking about, I think makes sense.
So
and I think if you're to preserve a majority of teams, besides some of the let's say the teams who are less than 30 years old, and some of them got to move, but if you could preserve that, I think that makes the most sense if we can.
So here's what I would do, and I'll do it real quick. Like I said, we don't have a graphic to support it. If we're preserving AL and NL, AL East, Yanks, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Orioles. AL North, Twins, Tigers, Cleveland, White Sox.
You just put 5 teams in the AL East.
Huh?
You put 5 in the Yankees.
No, Yanks, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Orioles.
Okay.
That's 4. North is Twins, Tigers, Cleveland, and White Sox.
Okay.
South would be Astros, Texas, Kansas City, and I'd move the Diamondbacks to the AL. And then West, I would have Seattle, Vegas, Portland, which would be my expansion city, and Colorado would move to the AL. NL, I'd have Mets, Phillies, Pirates, Nationals in the East. The South would be the Rays switching to go with Rays, Marlins, Braves, Nashville.
Yep.
Which would be my expansion team. The North would be Cubs, Milwaukee, Reds, and St. Louis.
Yep.
And the West would be basically Southern California. Dodgers, Padres, Angels would switch over, and Giants. And I think if you're looking for the cleanest version of this that preserves the tradition of the AL and NL, you're switching Angels, you're switching Rays. But the Rays, the Rockies, the D-backs don't have the history anyway. The Angels are the only historical franchise you would switch leagues.
I do like it as an off-season topic. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a perfect alignment. I would love that if it ended up coming out the way Joe said. It would be wild, too, if, Rich, you mentioned Montreal as a possible expansion. I know that city, they would love to have him back, but who knows what will happen. Again, going with a fresh city. But imagine they come back, they get up, instead of the Pirates, let's say, they now go into that Northeast National League division. You're going to have the new Expos and the old Expos in the same division. That would be pretty wild.
That would be pretty crazy here. We're going to get around to the chat in a little bit. We got comments pouring in. Of course, as always, Joe, a lot of love for young Teddy Ballgame here. Alana goes, hi, Teddy Bear. Dr. Kula, what's up, everyone? Hello, little Teddy. Sierra, very own Sierra. Teddy would like everyone to know that he's a huge Yankees fan. Any truth to that rumor there, Joe?
No, Teddy watched a Mets preseason game about 4 hours out of the womb. So
okay, there you go. And through the rest of the comments here, Joey Bag of Donuts was the first one here in the chat. Hello, everyone. What's going on, Joey? Jacob Petruzzi, smack the like. Pars, both teams have fallen short lately, but ESB always rises up. Hitman, we're live shortly. Sierra, ESB 500, LFG. Now, I will say, where I know we're going to get into contest rules in a little bit, I think Sierra's trying to get an early entry here for the 500 sub giveaway contest, but we got you, Sierra, and the rest of the chat here on the rules there. Shout out to Hector. And what's up, Jack? Good to see you. All right, Tom, let's touch on Roadback before we get into our rundown.
Let's absolutely touch on Roadback as we are heading into the fall here. Today was a little cooler. It's been cooler this week. No better way to transition from that summer weather into the fall with some new Roadback. Obviously, if you're still in the fall, you still got those polo short sleeve t-shirts. Still got those bathing suits if you're looking for that, but also fall weather, looking long sleeve or looking quarter zips. We're looking hoodies, and especially we are looking at that college football game day collection. I believe all of their new teams have been released. I will say, if our boy Swift is out there, I hope you grab that South Carolina quickly, because I see that is almost all sold out. I try to tell you guys this all the time. Roback comes out with new prints. It seems like daily. If you subscribe to them, you get almost a daily email of a new print of a polo or shorts or whatever it is. And this college stuff is so popular, it sells out quickly. So if you're a fan of one of the college teams that did get some new stuff, again, polos, Q-zips, hoodies, some teams have multiple versions of all of them. Take a look and use that promo code TWASPL15 to get yourself 15% off your order. And I would say do it sooner than later, because I'm clicking into some of these schools and it's just like, stuff is already gone. It's all gone. Or the hoodies are sold out. Those are always like the first things to go. So head over there, roback.com, promo code TWASPL15. Get yourself that 15% off your order. Rep some college stuff for the fall here.
You heard the man, and the rundown always brought to you by Roadback Crave Activity. We have the Empire Express to kick things off. Then we head over to Book It, hear from our guy Took. We also bring back a segment from earlier this season called On the Way Up. We'll put a little bit of focus on some of the upcoming prospects in both New York organizations. And then we finish things off with Guess the Graph. But before I get into the Empire Express, I want to turn things over to my guy Joe here, because tonight's episode's a big one, Joe. And why is tonight's episode a big one?
Because tonight is our 500 subscriber giveaway. Okay, so there's some rules, and this we're going to run down, so pay attention. We'll post this graphic on the thing, but today is the giveaway. So you must be subscribed on YouTube. You must like the video of episode 137, which is tonight's episode, and you must leave a comment on episode 137. The live chat does not count. It's a different section on the YouTube, but you go over to YouTube, you go to episode 137, you hit the like button, you leave a comment, make sure it's a nice comment. Profanity will be disqualified, just FYI.
Unless it's directed at Joe.
The contest, Sierra, that's a great comment. If you put that on the main video, absolutely. That's 100% entry. The contest will end on Sunday, August 24th. That's this upcoming Sunday, at a second before midnight. The winner will be announced on episode 138. No purchase is necessary. All entries are free.
Oh, yeah.
One entry per account. Live show comments will not be accepted as a proper entry. So remember, have to go on, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like, and leave a comment. The pick for who wins is random. We don't go in and pick our favorite person. It is random. So you got about 1 in 500 chance, and probably less depending on how many people comment. We'd love 500 comments. But you will have a chance to win this.
Oh, there it is. Live in living color.
This is a David Cone autographed baseball. So for Met and Yankee fans, David Cone was equally as important of a Met as he was a Yankee, although he won a couple championships with the Yankees. It is certified. There's a certificate of authenticity that comes with it. So you don't have to worry about, me signing balls in the back. That's not what's happening. I will mail this to somebody the second the winner is announced, and you will receive this beautiful, flawless autographed baseball. You can see it's it's an official Major League Baseball. So that is what you guys are looking to win. About $90 value if you wanted to put a value on it. So it's a nice little souvenir for somebody that they can add to their shelf of collectibles as well. So
and good for David keeping.
I'll say this as someone who has a lot of autographed baseballs that I've kind of acquired through going to spring training. I do have a David Cohn. He has one of the nicest signatures of players.
Definitely.
It's nice and crisp. You could very easily.
Nice.
You're not going to show it to someone and someone's going to say, I don't know who it is. You can say, this is David Cohn, and it's going to be clear as day. That's David Cohn.
We can never use this for an edition of Guess the Graph because you know instantaneously who the hell this is. So, no, shout out to David for the perfect penmanship there. And, and you heard him, folks. Once a winner is selected, Joe will immediately mail it out. So he will leave the studio, run to the USPS store, and mail it out.
Certificate of authenticity.
If we also want to get a little nerdy with it, it looks like this ball is signed in a blue ballpoint pen, which is the best for lasting longer.
Yes, it is.
So it is. This is basically if you want a David Cohn baseball, this is as good as you're gonna want to get. This is something that should last for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it.
Keep it out.
All righty, folks. And
so official stamp, so it is perfect.
So our giveaway contest opens up now for, I guess it would probably make sense if you guys, if you're listening in, most likely you're subscribed, most likely you've already liked the video. So you can go ahead and like the video if you haven't liked it already. For the comment, I would say it's just probably best after the show to drop your comment in because again, we're not accepting any of the live stream comments. We're only accepting them after the video has already dropped. So that's a proper entry.
You literally can't do it right now.
Oh, one more thing. The two individuals who did win our last contest are not eligible. That is not an us rule. That is a YouTube rule. YouTube does not allow you to win contests. There's a set period of time. It's like it's like 24, 28 months that you can't win contests on the same page from the same people. So that's just I have no control over that. That's a YouTube policy.
So there you go. ESPNYM's in the building. I don't know if this is Joe or Corey or Keith. I have no idea, but they said ESPNYM is winning it. And that's the other thing too. Joe, Corey, Tom, and I are not eligible to win the ball. We're not eligible either to win the baseball.
Neither are our spouses. So.
Neither are our spouses.
Our parents,
you're not allowed to win.
Things like that can win, not our spouses.
Hey, babe, you hear that? You can't win the ball. All right. She knows. Okay. So I'm entering my name now. It says Christy Evans and then CK here. Great giveaway, fellas. All right. Let's move on to some show here and touch on the New York Metropolitans, Corey Favs. We'll get right into it. And for the New York Mets, they're coming off one of their recent better splits because they went 3-3 in their last 6. What do you got on them, Corey?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a 3-3 week after the miserable month that was August, and I know we still got about 13 more days of August, but August has been dreadful for the Mets. There's no sugarcoating it. It's really been a rough month and a half stretch for the New York Mets. This was a week that honestly they could have swept. They easily could have went 6-0 this week. You're up 6-0 on the Braves last Tuesday, I believe it was, or Wednesday. They ended up blowing that game. They lost the game. Ended up giving up 9 runs an inning after they put up 6. So that's absolutely disgraceful. Then Helsley blew 2 saves. He blew the last game versus the Braves. He blew the first game versus the Mariners. And it's like, all right, you got the same exact story each night. But I will say it's very nice to see the offense wake up. The offense had a really good week. And it's nice that at least in your last 2 outings, the starting pitching actually got through 5 innings. And it's all it takes is decent pitching to give yourself a chance. And the last 2 times you had Nolan McLean, guy's making his major league debut, gave you 5 1/3 innings. That's the most a Mets starting pitcher got in about 3 or 4 weeks since the David Peterson start, probably late July. That's kind of sad, actually, that it took a major league debut to give you the most innings, and even that wasn't through 6 innings. And then Holmes got through 5 innings yesterday. He actually would have had a shot for the sixth. Lindor made a bad error, cost a run. Then Holmes, after that, loaded the bases, got out of it with just the one run. But he had a chance of getting through 4 at only 60 pitches or so. Moral of the story is, if you can get at least 5 innings starting pitching and you're getting good offense, the Mets have gotten good offense the last couple of weeks now, you have a shot to win. So they're 3-3. Mariners are a pretty good team. You hope you could take that 2-0 stretch Saturday, Sunday, and parlay it into a good week coming up. So then you got the Nationals coming up next. And this is a series, I don't even want 2 of 3. I want a sweep. I want a clean sweep versus this team. You're trying to get rid of the negative energy that was basically the first half of August and late July as a whole. I want a clean sweep of the Nationals. It's tough to sweep the Braves. They're a division rival. I know they're a bad team, but they've had our number this year. I want 2 of 3 versus the Braves. I want a sweep versus the Nationals. Give me a 5-1 week, and let's roll into the next week.
Yeah, I mean, you consider how many games the Mets have been in that they have lost by 1 run or had a lead and blew it late. Like, it's really gotten to the point where they needed the last 2 games. They needed to ink a couple W's to put the Flames out, or not even out, just reduce them from burning the house down. At the end of the day, right now, the Mets have leveled off the ship, at least for the last few days. Now you have a chance with the Nationals coming in to kind of reignite a winning streak, a la what you had before this losing streak when they won 7 in a row. McClain is a big boost. I think the whole team got behind that and said, this kid coming up, he's our number 1 pitching prospect, number 2, depending on who you ask, but he's our number 1 pitching prospect. We got to give this kid run support. We got to give this kid the 100% of what we are. And he had a great start, 5 1/3. What do you have? 8 strikeouts. He looked phenomenal. Gave up 2 hits. I mean, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Under first start, under all that pressure, the fact that he came out and did that, he looks really good. Again, pitchers are tough. You never know with injuries or whatever, but he's got some great stuff. He's got a Frisbee-like sweeper that was breaking across the plate. It looked really good. So I'm hoping that this is the start. Senga and Minaya are the biggest keys this next week. If they get going, if they have some good starts and can put it together, the Mets can readjust and reaffirm their position very quickly. That's what it's going to come down to. Senga and Minaya have to be you have your top 3 starters going this week. You need to win every single game. So this is what they're there for. You're against a last place team. So this 100% needs to be time to go, and the time is now. So if the Mets can do that, if they can get afloat, okay, we can feel good going into the Braves series, and let's see what happens with the Braves. I know Michael Harris is the hottest player on the planet right now, and he stung us the other day, but they must at least get back to playing 500 ball. Then we'll worry about going from there. But right now, this series is a big series because the Mets have to right the ship. They cannot afford to lose games. And by the way, Helsley, he did a good job last night. I do not want to see Hell's Bells under any circumstances. There needs to be a rule. And I saw this rule. I don't know who tweeted it. I don't know if it was Tom or somebody else. If you blow a save, you for 3 days, for your next 3 appearances, don't get your entrance. Don't get your entrance song.
Wait, he can't. So you don't even wait. He can't just come out to the song without all the bells and whistles in the background.
No entrance songs.
Nothing. He comes out to silence.
Nothing. If you blow the save,
silent movie.
If you blow the save, you get 3. I need 3 appearances before you get to ring those bells again.
That is such a Corey Cody tweet.
But I'm sorry, you can't be ringing Hell's bells when Helsley's giving up 4 freaking games in a row.
I'll also say this.
Up.
I understand. I understand it's Helsley. That's why he does Hell's bells. We got to be original because that's Hoffman and Mo had like the original entrance songs, and Trevor Hoffman's was Hell's bells. So it's just like I need you to do something else, Helsley.
Diaz is original.
There's a lot of songs with hell in it.
You know, but
maybe a highway to hell. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if you blow 4 games in a row, you lose your entrance song privileges. You lose it.
I'll say this.
You lose it. The only thing that's being played is the circus theme song, the ice cream.
I don't know off the top of my head, but whatever Devin Williams comes out to, they have to play it because the boos would be so loud that it would be embarrassing.
There should not be an entrance for Devin Williams. There should only be an exit for that guy.
Oh,
all right?
God.
I'm sick and tired to see Devin Williams.
Do I have a point? You
have a point. I get it. But if these guys are getting psyched up because of something silly as a song,
psyched up, he's blown with it. 4 games in a row. The song's not working.
Wait. Listen, I know Helsley's the new guy here, but like, is the same rule apply to Diaz? Does Diaz after 3?
Yeah, all closers. If you blow a game, you lose your entrance song privileges for the next time out. And you do not. And in Helsley's case, he blew 4 games. So for 4 games, he needs 4 scoreless games to get his privileges back.
I know as a pod, we're very pro entrance songs. We do like a little bit. We'll throw that WWE twist on things. But it is embarrassing for a guy to come out who's blowing games and to have a whole pyro show. It is like an absolute joke to do that. It's like now we're getting
But it's the fun part of baseball. It's the only sport where you can do this middle of the game. No other player can get this. No other player can get this in any other sport where you can do a specialized entrance. I disagree with all you guys.
The 8th inning is
I get it, but I disagree. If that psychs them up and gets them focused for whatever they got going on,
he's not even the closer.
It needs to work.
Okay, but that's not because the music's playing a minute before. It's on him.
You can't.
I think only one guy should get the entrance.
Okay, then you know what? When somebody has a 3 strikeout game, we don't send them up with batter's music. Okay, we don't send them up with batter's music. The offense, it should apply to offensive players too.
But there's a difference between the batter's music or because every player comes out to a song, but like the light show. Only one pitcher or only one closer team gets a light show. I can't have multiple guys getting light shows. That's one. And Diaz has it for the Mets. I can't have Helsley having a custom logo and having them whatever they do for him.
By the way, Devin Williams' entrance song is "Gangsters" by Pop. There's been a lot of pop smoke off bats of offensive players against Devin Williams. I'll tell you that this year. All right, let's flip over to the Yankee side. I am gonna touch right back on the Mets because I want to go through the rest of the season schedule, but I want to do that together. But let's flip over to the New York
Renegade.
We'll flip over to the New York Yankees side of the house. Thomas, good week for the Yankees, and as much as I would love to cherish a 5-1 record, I also notice who they play. They play the Minnesota Twins, play St. Louis Cardinals. These teams you got to just take care of business against. These teams are solid
at the end of the season. Do they have? Does the team who has the record against the best teams get in the play?
Again, 100%. You got to play who's in front of you. The point I was getting at, Tom, is that I don't know how much of it I can buy when those are the 6 teams when those are the 6 games that you had. It was against these 2 teams. Is this something right now? Are you seeing a turn for this team, regardless of the opponent, or is this more of I got to get more of this, and I got to see this against Boston this week?
Absolutely, you need to see it against Tampa and Boston this week, but they weren't beating anyone for a while there. They were getting swept and they were losing series to other bad teams. So, like I said, you got to play who's in front of you. Now, does that make do I feel different about the Yankees than I did last week at this time? Probably not. I feel a little bit better. You feel 5-1 week is great, but it's not. They have to beat the good teams, right? Offense did come alive at times. They got some clutch hits. They made some comeback wins, which is always fun. But I need to see it against the better teams. And Boston this weekend is, if we get to the show next Monday and the Yankees you could pull that standings again.
Series. That's weird.
Yeah. If the Yankees, let's put it this way, I'm going to feel a lot better if we do the show next Monday and the Yankees are in second place. No matter how that happens, that will be a big boost. And yes, guys, I don't like Renegade. It's a Steelers song. I hate the Steelers. I understand Bednar's from Pittsburgh. Fuck off. Steelers suck. They have a stupid long history.
Joe, you're the reason why. Sorry.
You know what? They don't win shit when it matters.
Joe, this guy right here below you is the reason you got in trouble the other day for something.
I got heat. I was getting sideswiped. I'm sitting there feeding the baby. I'm getting sideswiped on Twitter. I look on my phone. My phone's blowing up because everybody thinks I'm tweeting anti-Yankee stuff. And meanwhile, it's Tom over here, the Ravens fan that's pissed off that Pittsburgh has actually wins playoff games from time to time.
Shitty city. Your shitty football team, your mediocre team with Aaron Rodgers, that ass. We're not going to talk about the Steelers anymore. I just don't.
Aaron Rodgers. Oh, that Aaron Rodgers.
Listen. Keep Renegade in Pittsburgh where it belongs. Right. Bednar, I need you to have a new song.
Kristen goes, we are still talking about Renegade. LOL, let it go. No, and of course, CK, I'm biased, but Luke Weaver's entrance is the best on the Yankees. I kind of like the Renegade myself. All righty. Listen, I want to continue the Empire Express, but I also, I've been looking ahead to what the schedules are, the remaining schedules for both teams. So I'll flip back to the Mets side of the house. And I wanted to ask Corey and Joe, and then Tom, when we get to the Yankees end, the same question I asked on a Bronx Take today. When you look at the final 38 games of the regular season, so we pull up the schedule for the New York Mets and what they have 12 more series here. What record do you expect the Mets to finish with, and will it be good enough to earn a playoff spot, and which playoff spot will it get them? Corey Favs, I'll go to you, and then we'll go to Joe.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the schedule specifically, the Mets right now, remaining schedule, I think they're ranked like 13th overall. So basically league average. I think they have like a 506, 507 winning percentage against. So, pretty average. Phillies are right there with them too. So the Mets are chasing the Phillies in the National League East. Phillies, I think, are ranked 14th. It's literally 1 percentage point higher than the Metropolitans. The good thing for the Mets, again, if you just want to talk about strength of schedule and schedule down the stretch, the Mets' biggest challenger to a playoff berth right now is the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds have the third strongest schedule remaining. They are third overall. I forget the exact percentage. It's like 540. It's a really high percentage that's left for the Reds. A big part of that is because the Brewers are absolutely unstoppable right now. And they probably have a few more games versus the Brewers left. So I feel good about it from that standpoint. And you look at the schedule here too. They got 7 games versus the Phillies. They have 3 games versus the Reds. So you want to look down the stretch. I think the Mets got to take 2 of 3 from the Reds. Hopefully that you sprinkle in some other series wins should be good. If you want a shot at the NL East, I think they are going to have to go at least 5-2 across those 7 games versus the Phillies in order to have a good shot at the NL East. But then you look at the wild card. Typically now with the third wild card team, you want to get 90 wins. So I want at least 90 wins for the Mets. But we'll see what happens. They really dug themselves a hole, losing 13 of 15 or whatever it was. But ultimately, take 5 of 7 versus the Phillies. Take that Red Series 2 of 3. You got to go out there and you got to win those series. Sweep the Nationals. You got 7 versus the Marlins. Take 5 of those 7. And then they should be in a pretty decent shape.
Yeah, to win 90 games, the Mets need to go 24-14 in the remaining 38 games. Yeah. Is it realistic? Maybe if this team starts playing better baseball. But, even if they went 20-18, that would put them at 86 wins. I don't see another team getting to 86. So the Mets basically have to play 2 games above 500 the rest of the way, and they're probably gonna get a playoff spot. Right? Like, I don't see the Reds. I think the Reds top out at 82, 83 wins.
For a reference, show, last year the Arizona Diamondbacks finished the season with 89 wins and did not make it in.
Right. So this year that it's not that strong. San Francisco's under 500, so it's not them or the Diamondbacks. The Cardinals are now under 500. The Reds are 5 games above 500.
They also have the third hardest schedule remaining based on winning percentage.
Right. And the Marlins are under 500. So really, it's a 2-team show. The Reds are a weaker team, and B have a harder schedule. So the Reds, you would think, need to go 3 to 4 games better than the Mets to even have a shot at where the Mets should end up. So I'm pretty comfortable that the Mets are going to make the playoffs. At this moment, until I see them ramp it up, it's probably going to be that third wild card because I don't know if they catch the Padres at the moment. The Cubs are falling off. I don't know how drastic that's going to be. Kyle Tucker is actually sitting out games right now. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be interesting. They're not catching the Brewers anymore. They're 9 games back of the Brewers, and they're 4 games better than the Mets, which goes to show you how hot the Brewers have been. The one thing is the division is still in play, regardless of 5 games. Zach Wheeler's done for the year. They haven't confirmed that, but blood clot in the shoulder, they got to open his shoulder up. He's done for the year. He ain't pitching this year.
Hear that.
So the Phillies got issues. That team's not going anywhere without Zach Wheeler. I'm sorry. They do not have the pitching to afford Zach Wheeler. And Zach Wheeler is the only person that in a Met game that the Mets are scared of. They are not scared of Aaron Nola. They're not scared of Jesus Luzardo. They're not scared of any of those guys. So all of a sudden, let's say we got 3 wins against the Nationals. Even if you lose 2 out of 3 to the Braves, if you win 3 games against the Phillies, all of a sudden
it changes.
You can be within 2 games of the Phillies. All of a sudden, the division's back in play.
Yeah.
So at this particular moment, I would say even in a bad scenario, if the Mets go 20-18, they make the playoffs. And that's pretty feasible.
I think if you go back to Corey's point earlier about what do the Mets need to do in this next week, I think that's going to be really big for their chances. Because if you pull up that schedule again, after these 2 series against bad teams, Phillies, good team. Marlins, frisky. Tigers, good. Reds, they're right in there. Phillies, good. Rangers are a frisky team. They got the Padres. So you got that's 7 consecutive series against teams that are either in the playoffs, fighting for the playoffs, have a chance of still getting there. Then you get a little break with the Nationals, and then you have the Cubs and the Marlins again. So although the strength of schedule might not be as high, there's only 3 series in here that you're like, not that you can take anyone completely lightly. There's only 3 series in here where you're like, the Mets should definitely win this series.
Yeah.
The rest of them are like, yeah, they probably should beat the Rangers. They probably, should be able to beat the Reds. But if you lost those series, you want to be shocked. Mm-hmm. Those are decent teams. They're kind of decent.
Oh, but the Rangers, it depends on the pitcher you run into. If you get bad luck at the draw and you face DeGrom and Eovaldi, it's going to be a tough series. You have a chance to lose both those series on those pitchers alone. So, but it's interesting. But again, I just don't see where the Reds are going to overtake them, or even if they do, it's going to be for long because the Mets just don't need to win that many games going forward to stave off the Reds. And I don't believe in the Reds.
Right. The thing with the division too, because Joe mentioned the division is very much in play, and it is, because let's say the Mets and Phillies go par for par, and then the matchups against each other, that's 7 games. If they, let's say, Mets go 6-1, and then both teams are par the rest of the way,
right?
Mets win the NL East.
Yeah.
Even if the Mets go 5-2,
that's a big. Oh, the Mets just have to win. They just have to win 6 out of 7 against the Phillies. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's hard. Don't get me wrong, but they technically control their destiny when it comes to it. Because it's going to happen. It's far from a guarantee. Yeah, technically the Marlins control their destiny if the Marlins don't lose a game the rest of the year too. So it's
Well, the thing is, right now the other teams have to catch the Mets.
Right, exactly, and that's what it's looking at this point. And if we're gonna pull up the standings once more, for the New York Mets, again, it's the Mets in that holding that third place position. Do I believe in the Cincinnati Reds? Honestly, no. I still think the Mets are the better team on paper. So that series that they're playing is as big as it gets. But to what Corey said, I mean, I get it. 6-1 is going to be a tall task, in a 7-game set against the Philadelphia Phillies. But if you better the Phillies in that situation, you could still be in that mix for the East. The goal for them is beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Beat the Nats, beat the Braves. The Marlins have been scrappy. They give you guys a hard time every single time out. You got to beat the Marlins at this time of the year. Even if you take a game against the Cubs and the Padres, and if you don't get swept and still beat the teams that you're supposed to beat on paper, you guys should be in a prime playoff position. Even if that's not the National League East, you guys should still be in some good shape. You just right now you can't lose games against teams that are out of it at this point on. That's simple as that. All right, now we'll flip over to the Yankee side of it, Tom. Same deal. They also have 38 games left. We already spotlighted the upcoming 2 games coming up, but you got the Nats, the White Sox, and then this is the one that is causing the most pain for me to see here. Astros, Blue Jays, Tigers, Red Sox, 12 games in a row. And then they finish things off with the Twins, Orioles twice, and the White Sox in between. Tom, 38 games left. How are you shaking this one out?
If we're going to keep our theme alive here, the Yankees have, by winning percentage, the 4th easiest schedule on the way out. So that is, you got to feel good about that. Rather have the 4th easiest than the 4th hardest. There's that goal right there. Yeah, like you said, right in the middle there. That's going to be tough. It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking to win the division, then obviously you have to at least win that series against the Blue Jays, if not sweep them. And you have to come out of that stretch there with a winning record, those 4. If you're, hey, listen, maybe the division's gone. We played too poorly for too long, and the Blue Jays haven't absolutely coughed it up like a fur ball, which they are the propensity to do. There's a lot of bad teams you could beat up on. And again, if we're playing a game of I want to get to 90 wins, listen, you got 7 games against the White Sox. Win 5 of those. You got 7 games against the Orioles. Win at least 4 of those because we have so much problems with the AL East. Twins stink. You got the Nats in there. They've kind of given up. So you have an easy, not an easy path. We have a very obvious path to getting enough wins to get you into the playoffs. Question is the division in play? I think if the division has to be in play, if we are within striking distance when that Blue Jay series starts, if we can get it to get it to 3 by then. Again, we have the White Sox right before there. And then, chips down, we'll see what happens. And if not, hey, let's make the wild card. Let's figure it out. And let's try to get hot at the right time as we play some of the truly worst teams in baseball to finish the season.
I like what you called it, the gauntlet in the middle. We're gonna use that moving forward because it truly is. It is a gauntlet. You're facing 4 teams that at this point, it's going to take some quite of epic fall from grace for either of those 4 teams to miss the playoffs at this point. Maybe Boston, if it gets bad, but I think Boston's still good enough to crack a postseason spot here. I think for the Yankees' sake, even if you survive the gauntlet, even if you split the gauntlet, my biggest fear is one that's not being discussed enough. You finished off the season playing the Twins, the Orioles, the White Sox, and the Orioles. And regardless of how well the Yankees do against these teams, and they have no reason not to do well against these 3 teams, does that not make them a little bit ill-prepared for what awaits them in the first round of the playoffs? Because you go from facing those 3 teams to then potentially facing the Astros in a best of 3. A Mariners in a best of 3. My fear is those teams right there are not going to put the Yankees in the best position to be competitive against who they face in an opening round in October.
Possibly. I'm trying to look up right now. I feel like this was very similar to last year where the season ended with
the Pirates. I remember they played the Pirates.
Bad teams. They played, but I think even before that, it wasn't. I'm just going to it right now.
It might have been. I
They
remember
played the Pirates, they played the Orioles, they played Oakland. So those last 3 series, I know the Orioles were a little bit better, but they had kind of fallen off. So that was 3 series against bad teams to finish out the season. Yankees made it to the World Series doing that. So I'm not as worried about it, especially the Yankees, no matter what, if it's in the division or a wild card spot or wild card positioning in play, they're going to have juice to those games. They're not going to be, hey, we're just bringing up minor leaguers to start because we're just trying to set up our rotation. They're going to have to win those games. They're going to get into a situation where it's like, hey, we got to sweep the White Sox to really kind of solidify our spot here. So I'm not as worried as if the Yankees were, everything was put away, division was done, and then they were just kind of truly dicking around those last couple weeks.
I think a lot of what the Yankee season is going to be about is what they're going to do against the Boston and Blue Jays teams. I mean, those 10 games are important. If the Yankees go 1-6 against Boston, they're going to have to run that table late in order to put themselves in a good position going into the playoff spot. They can't afford to walk into.
Yeah, but we also. Yes, but we could just have flipped that on what we just talked about the Mets. If the Mets go 1-6 against the Phillies, they're really going to have to run the table.
The division's gone. Right, the division's gone in that point. Boston's not even the division leader. You got to remember, Boston is ahead of the Yankees in the standings. I don't know the wild card.
I mean, they're a half game ahead of the Yankees.
Wild card's right there, Joe.
One less game.
I think that's a big part of it. The Yankees have time to make that up, but if their goal is to eclipse Boston, these series are critical. They have to win these series because I don't know Boston's remaining schedule either. But you can't go in
has the 7th. They're right in the middle. They're basically a 497 win percentage teams against.
That Labor Day through mid-September is a gauntlet.
Yeah,
I mean that's tough. They got breaks in between and they got a break after where those teams are probably going to be packing it in. There's going to be a lot of young players playing, things like that. Mm-hmm. But that middle where they have to play probably every single team they would see in the playoffs if they were to get to the World Series. They literally might have to play those teams in that order to get to the World Series.
It's possible.
It's going to be key to just seeing where the barometer of the Yankees are. Because if the Yankees play those teams at 500, fine, that's great. But if they're 4 or 5 games below 500 against that gauntlet, and then they sweep the bottom feeders to get into the playoffs, that would make me a little bit nervous. If they go 500 and then they beat up on the low teams, I'd feel a lot better if I'm a Yankee fan going into the playoffs and say, okay, we can at least match up with these teams.
Yeah.
I'll say this because I know it's one of Joe's favorite things to talk about in these series. If the Yankees, the Yankees, as long as they don't get swept by do they have the Mariners? No, they don't have the Mariners coming up. The Yankees, I think, have the season series against the Mariners, and if they can handle business against the Red Sox, they could get the season series against the Red Sox. So if we're talking tiebreaker situations, that will be beneficial to them. I don't know what they did against Cleveland. I'm trying to look that up kind of quickly here.
Red Sox schedule: 2 against Baltimore starting today, the 4 against the at Yankees, 4 at Baltimore, 3 home Pittsburgh, 3 home Cleveland, then 3 away in Arizona, 3 away in the Athletics, 3 at home against the Yankees, then 3 at home against the A's, then Tampa, Toronto, and Detroit to end the season. So they got 6 games against the Athletics.
Yeah.
That was a tough
3
end.
against the Pirates.
Corey?
Yep. Yeah. I just want to say one thing going back to your question before, Rich, about potentially being at a disservice for having, at least on paper, an easier stretch going into the playoffs. The one thing that would differentiate the Yankees from, let's say, a team like the Dodgers, a couple years back, when you're 10, 15, 20 games up in the division and pretty much locked in for a top seed right off the rip. The difference there is at least the Yankees are going to be playing for seeding. Even if they're out of it from a division standpoint, they're going to be fighting with the Mariners, the Red Sox, maybe the Guardians, maybe the Royals, maybe the Rangers, TBD. We'll see if any one of them get hot. They're going to be fighting for that seeding. And if you're in the wild card, you'd really love to get that top seed, wild card one, because that gives you the home game in that particular series. So that's the one benefit for that instance.
Blue Jays have Pittsburgh, Miami, and Minnesota the next 9 games. And with the Yankees and Red Sox probably going to beat up on each other, the division could be theoretically wrapped up by Labor Day.
Instagram. Let's get on to that, and we'll continue the conversation later on.
Let's do it. Well, anyway, go ahead and follow us at Empire State of Baseball on Instagram. You'll find our archived segments, meme reels, you name it, you'll find it on the gram at Empire State of Baseball, and all of us individually, myself at Corey Favs, Joe at JR Pugs, Rich at Rich J. Rivera, and Tom at T. Wospil. We're at 7,600 and growing, so go ahead and give us a follow.
All right, we're going to condense 2 segments into 9 minutes real quick. We're getting into Book It, and I did not get a video submission from Took this week, but I did get a pick. So shout out to Took and Book with Took Travel. Make sure to give him a follow on Instagram, and I will not misquote Took here because Took sent me this message early on today. And Took goes, Yankees Red Sox 4-game weekend series. And I'm going to be very liberal here and pick the split. So he's got the Red Sox and Yankees split in the 4-game set. Player to watch, I'm going to pick dual players. I think Max Fried will have a bounce back start, and Garrett Crochet will shut it down. So Took, who's desperate for points, as we see is 9-20 here, has got 3 points at play, and hopefully for Took's sake, hopefully he's half right here. We want to see obviously the Yankees do a little bit more against Garrett Crochet this time around. But fellas, real quick, we'll start from the top and work our way to the top and work our way down to the bottom. Corey, Joe, then Tom. Your predictions for this upcoming series between the Red Sox and Yankees, a big 4-game series.
I love how we went with the push. It's actually a safe bet. So that means one of the teams is going to sweep the 4-game series.
There you go, Joe.
I mean, listen, this is tough. Yankees have not played Boston well. I'm worried about Fried right now. Fried is an issue, and Crochet is going up against Warren. So I think at the moment, I'm going to go Boston 3 out of 4 over the Yankees.
Tom?
I think I'll the caveat. If the Yankees handle business against Tampa and they come in hot into that series and the stadium's rocking, I'll take, and it gets a little cooler out. Maybe see some little long sleeves action at night. I'll take the Yankees. If they stumble bad and they have bad vibes going into the weekend, I like more of that split or Boston taking the series.
I agree with everything Took said. Took is going to be 100% right. He actually is 2-1 out of his last 3 picks here. So maybe we're building up a little bit of a hot streak in the stretch run of the season. Maybe get this record up to at least 500. We'll see. It's going to take some kind of historic run here from Took, but I got the split as well. And an agreement too. I think Max Fried will listen. He's due for a bounce back. It's not looked good for Max Fried. How he has skipped the bear list is beyond me. But Max Fried did not look great in his last start. He's facing some top hitters that are left-handed. Maybe he'll be able to get can overmatch some of the lefties here. Garrett Crochet looks incredible. He's going to be a guy who's going to contend for the Cy Young in the American League this year. So even though this is chalk here, I am going to stick by Took, and I got Red Sox Yankees split in here. Okay, from there, Joe, obviously we have a lot of business going down on YouTube. Let's keep that momentum going. What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, please go over to our YouTube channel at Empire State of Baseball and hit that subscribe button. Again, you must be subscribed to be part of our 500 subscriber giveaway. You do not have to be subscribed before this episode. You have to be subscribed to be eligible to win this David Cone autograph baseball. So go over there, go to YouTube, check out all of our past episodes. Remember, like this video, leave a comment in this video, not in the live chat, in the comment section. Once you do that, you are entered to win this David Cone autograph baseball. Entries will be open until August 24th at midnight. And then we will announce the winner on our next week's show, episode 138, on Monday. where we will give away the baseball and we'll contact you if you've won, and I will mail it to you directly.
Excellent stuff there, Joe. So looking forward to handing off another prize to another winner here involved with Empire State of Baseball. All righty, let's move forward. We're actually going to skip around a little bit. We're going to jump over to our game, and then we'll go to On the Way Up. And our game today is Guess the Graph. And with our first autograph, we're going to throw it all the way back to Corey. No, not Corey Favs, to Joe. Joe, let's see what you brought to the table today.
Hide the chat.
So the theme for this was ex-teammates of David Cohn. That's kind of the theme we've gone with. So this
Good
is
idea,
the ball
Joe.
I got.
Corey,
you're on mute.
John Franco.
John Franco.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw the F, and I was like, it kind of looks like an F. Oh, I was thinking Freed off the rip. I was like, John Franco.
Good.
It is John Franco.
See, look at Corey Favs. He knew that we were crunched for time here and just got it right out the way.
That's it.
All right, so point for Corey Favs. I think Corey now, if I'm not mistaken, is tied with Tom in second place. Yes, he is. So now he's going to be up to 17 here. And I'm still at the bottom here, 14, but I got to play some defense. Yeah, Joe, I stuck with the same theme here. Again, great idea by you, going with the David Cohn teammates. Fantastic work by you. So I want to do the same. And here is another former teammate of David Cohn's. Who is this player?
Jim Abbott.
Incorrect. Definitely signed with his left hand, though.
Come on.
What? Stating a fact. Okay, for Joe. Yeah, we're looking for a former teammate.
Jose Canseco?
Tom. It is Jose Canseco.
Really?
Yes, right.
There we
It is
go.
Jose Canseco.
I would
good
not think
job.
he had such nice handwriting.
So just like
he'd
that,
write with a
Tom
crayon.
pulls back into the sole lead for second place there. Now at 18, and I'm still in dead last. And my guys did us a big thing here. They cut into a lot of the time that we took here for the Empire Express. So shout out to you guys. Point for Corey, point for Tom, and that is Guess the Graph. But of course, the only autograph that really matters right now is David Cohn. So make sure to enter that contest after this video drops later on tonight. Okay. Before we end things with On the Way Up, we did a lot of catch up just now. Let's run through the latest and greatest with X. There's so much going on over on X nowadays. Make sure to give our main page a follow at ESB Podcast. Give the subsidiaries a follow at ESBNYM, at ESBNYY. Give the four of us a follow at Corey Favs, at JR Pugs, at Rich J. Rivera, and at T. Wospil. The rest of the team at Ticking It With Keith, at Chris Nieves 618, at Boogie Dan NYY, at Sierra Not Miss. There's a lot of us here at Empire State of Baseball. You give us all a follow. But more importantly, check out our live spaces that's going down every day on the channel. It starts with a Bronx Take Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, whole Yankees conversation every day, exclusive segments, all those 4 days. It's been a lot of fun doing a Bronx Take now. We're up to 131 episodes, I believe now. So check that out on X. We also have one of our newest spaces, had its debut episode last week, Queens Boulevard, live on Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern time, hosted by Keith. I actually spoke to Keith earlier. I think this episode is going to have a delayed start time. This week, something did come up in Keith's schedule, so there will be a delayed start to Queens Boulevard, but it will still be live on Thursday night. And then we wrap the week up with Extra Innings. The newly rebranded Extra Innings goes live on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to check out all the spaces that we got going on throughout the week on Empire State of Baseball's X channels. All right, we're going to finish things up with On the Way Up. Time to look into the prospects, and we'll start off with the Mets end. And Corey Favs brought actually everybody brought a pitcher to the table to touch on. So we're all talking about arms today. Corey Favs, who do you want to touch on here for the Metropolitans?
Yeah, when we last did this earlier this year, I did Jack Winninger, went from 29th way up to 13th if you're just looking at MLB.com rankings. So hopefully we can do the same here with Ryan Lambert. Right now he's ranked 22nd, MLB.com, and he's 22 years old. So look at that. 22 is the theme. He's a really good relief pitcher in the minors for this team. I know this year he started off in Single A, High A Brooklyn. Did get promoted over to Double A Binghamton, and across both organizations there, he's been phenomenal this year. You look at his combined stats across both leagues, a 183 ERA. That's exactly what you want to see out of a reliever. But the strikeout rate is really what jumps out at you with him. At one point this season, he had a 65% strikeout rate. A lot of that was from the high A before he got promoted, but even at Double A, he's continuing a very high strikeout rate. So in 44 innings total across both, he's at 69 strikeouts, again with a 183 ERA. That's the type of stuff you love to see. The big thing with him, too, is his fastball can go up and get it. So he's got a high 90s fastball, averages about 98.5 or so with that heater. So this is a guy who's got potential to be a future back-end piece in a bullpen. And I know the Mets could have used some back-end pieces in the bullpen this last week when Helsley blew a couple of saves. So ultimately, we'll see if he continues that climb up in the system. He's about to turn 23 actually later I think September 1st is his birthday. So he's got a birthday approaching really soon, 23 years old. So this isn't a guy who's going to be way out. It's not like we're talking about a prospect who's 18, 19, still 3-4 years away. He's got a chance that if he has a very hot finish to this year, nice spring training, he could very likely make his debut and most likely will at some point in 2026.
Joe, your thoughts on Ryan Lambert here?
Yeah, listen, the Mets have like 3 top tier pitching prospects right now. And those are going to be the guys that are going to make an immediate impact on this team this year and next year. The question is, and the difference between what the Mets have been about lately and what they were about in the last few years is they didn't have anybody after that initial crop. Him, like one of my guys coming up, Jack Wenninger, those are the next crop of guys behind the Jonah Tongs and Nolan McLean and Brandon Sprouts. So the Mets, to get to where they want to be, they need depth in the system beyond just the top 3 or 4 guys they are looking forward to. One of the things the Mets have failed to develop is bullpen arms. This guy here in Lambert could be a bullpen arm that produces for the Mets in the near future.
There you go. All right, Joe, you also have an arm down to the minors. We'll look into the Single A affiliated Brooklyn Cyclones and their product that you're about to cover.
Yes. So my prospect profile is Will Watson of the Brooklyn Cyclones. Watson this year is 1-7 with 2.6 ERA across A and high A ball, which is Brooklyn. But in Brooklyn, he's 1-3 with 1.87 ERA in 13 starts, 13 games, 12 starts. He has 57 innings pitched, and he struck out 72 batters in those 57 innings. He is from the University of USC, 7th round pick in 2024. He's got a grade 60 fastball that peaks about 98 miles an hour. He sits usually around the 95 spot. He's got a nice slider, a good changeup with down-breaking action away from right-handed batters. The Mets like it as an out pitch. The Mets are trying to develop a 4th pitch for him. Needed to be a starter. They're trying to develop a cutter, but it hasn't really gone that well. But he is that next crop of guys that in order for the Mets to build that long-term depth in their pitching for the future, he's going to be one of these guys that needs to be the next group. They're looking 2027. I think that's optimistic for an MLB debut for him. I think it's more like 2028. He is 22 years old, so he might be a fast riser. But this is one of those things. By the way, the 1-7 record, Brooklyn is notorious bad for hitters. The wind blows in from the Atlantic, and it just knocks balls down that should be,
So he's getting boosted by the weather, is what you're saying.
Yes, he is getting boosted by them. At that,
Yeah.
I will be the first to admit that. But he is 11 on MLB's profile. He's number 24 on Baseball America's profile.
Yeah. And what I will say, just to kind of echo Joe's point before, the good thing about the Mets in this last couple of years is that they are building up that depth behind the top guys. And this is another perfect example, an intriguing piece. And again, hopefully it turns into something and, maybe a nice middle of the rotation starter in a few years' time. It just goes to show that they're building that depth. And it's not just those few guys. So I think Will Watson, again, it's an intriguing name. And it could be a name, again, these type of guys, when you're trying to do deadline deals, off-season trades, being able to trade off some of these pieces to get some guys, it just shows, it gives you more ammunition to play with.
I thought that video was on repeat for a second. He just kept mowing people down here. I mean, listen, credit to Joe and Corey here because there is a lot of great young farm hands that the Mets have from a pitching standpoint. They covered two guys that, I'll be honest, I never even heard of before tonight. So shout out to you guys, Ryan Lambert and Will Watson. Let's flip over to the Yankees side, Thomas, and look at a couple of guys that are towing the slab, as the kids would say. And we'll start off with this young pitcher that you have here.
Okay, we're going with me. You're supposed to go next, but here we go.
My
Brendan Beck. Yeah, just whatever, unprofessional. Brendan Beck. First, let me just remind everyone who I brought to the table last time was Cam, don't call me Schlittler. So I'm bringing you Brendan Beck this time. He's in AAA. The big thing about Beck here is he's 26. The Yankees drafted him out of Stanford. He has great numbers overall. He's struggled a little bit more in AA than he did in AAA than he did in AA with Somerset. But I mean, listen, he's about as developed as he's gonna get at this point. So the Yankees are gonna, Brendan's gonna have to really shit litter or get off the pot next spring because he's gonna be 27. He's gonna be 27, I think, over the winter. And he's going to be a guy, I think, that they're either going to maybe look as a true depth arm for them next year, depending on what happens with other guys. There's always injuries. Or someone who could be traded because he's going to be major. He's going to be as ready as he's going to be. Again, he's going to be 27 years old. He's not a Paul Skeens. He's not coming up at 20 or 21. Again, good numbers overall, good prospect grading numbers as well. It's that time. He has to make a move. And I think he could, again, be a good depth piece, could be, what we saw from a Will Warren, coming up and saying, hey, maybe he could fight to be that fifth starter, that sixth guy, maybe a long man out of the bullpen and see what happens. Because if you look at his numbers, they're very good for this season.
Swift goes, this guy sucks, Tom. Sucks. Saw him pitch twice, got shelled both times. I know Swift gets a lot of access to the games out there. And yes, Swift, the code is TWaspel15. I would hope you've known that by now. It is TWaspel15. Go get yourself some Gamecock gear here. Brendan Beck.
We might need to keep Brandon Swift away from Brandon Beck because if he got shelled twice, there's a 3.2 ERA. I mean, just imagine. Yeah. I need to do his stats minus Swift.
Yeah,
it probably has like a
that's one of those
5 under 1 whip. He probably's like 11-1. I think that's really what we have to do is keep Swift away from.
Just keep.
I would say young Brendan Beck, but not so young Brendan.
And all will go well. All right. Well, I have a right-handed to profile myself, and my bad, Thomas, to jump into you, but kind of did it a little selfishly because I felt like I had to save the best for last year. The guy I wanted to cover is the highest-ranked team prospect out of the guys. Actually, the only top 100 prospect being covered tonight, and that is Carlos Legrande. Carlos has jumped up from the prospect rankings substantially, or he started this season, according to MLB.com, started more in the 12 marker. Then he got all the way down to number 2. Now he's number 82 overall on MLB.com's top 100 list. Now the number is 3.72 ERA. Could do better with the walks here. He is trying to ascertain a little bit more control, but the strikeouts are certainly there. 138 Ks over 96.2 innings pitched, 6'7" frame. Scouts are saying either this is going to be a frontline starter or a closer one day. And man, does the stuff by LaGrange look nasty? We're going to pull up his highlights shortly, but love what I've been seeing out of Carlos here. The Yankees, listen, Tom, you highlighted another good one in Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, one that I covered in the last on the way up. the Cam Schlittler now in the mix. The Yankees are finding themselves some quality arms now. As we're gonna pull up the highlights here now for Lagrange. This is in Somerset only a couple of weeks back. And I mean, this stuff is just dirty. We're gonna start the video over again here from Carlos Lagrange. Let's see. There we go. All right, yeah, Lagrange here, just coming in hot at 98 miles an hour, just looking phenomenal. This is somebody again, Tom, could make an impact as soon as middle of 2026. Hell, maybe this is a guy that steps in, while Gerrit Cole is still out recovering on Tommy John surgery. But your quick thoughts on this big man and Carlos Lagrange.
He's been definitely the Yankees hottest prospect this year. He's the one I think, right? He's as you had highlighted, has really jumped up more than just about anyone else. And Rich and I were talking before the show. The Yankees have had a very, very tough time of developing position players that have really made it to the major leagues. They have not had a hard time developing pitchers. Now, how they developed a Cy Young winner, maybe not, but they have developed a lot of quality, at least middle of the rotation guys. And I think that bodes well for both of our picks here, as they're learning to pitch, they're getting good mixes. And yeah, the Yankees rotation next year could be some interesting spots depending on what happens with everyone. Right, you said Cole coming back. We'll be still without Clark Schmidt will be gone, but for the year he'll still be hurt. I think they're going to have some guys that they could trade in the offseason depending on what they want to do. We're not going to fully get into offseason talk right now, but some of these guys are going to, again, have to shit litter or get off the pot.
Shit litter or get off the pot. I love it, Tom. You really turned it into something there. I really appreciate you. All righty. Well, that's going to do it for On the Way Up and for our show today. But I wanted to finish off tonight's show with some special announcements. Obviously, we all know the deal. Next week, we're going to be selecting our winner for the episode number 138. You're going to see this episode pop in there in a few days. This is going to be our contest giveaway winner reveal. But again, it's this episode that you have to like. Make sure, of course, if you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. And the comment that I threw out there was hashtag ESB500. So that means you're entered into this contest if you use that hashtag ESB500. So make sure to drop a comment once this video gets onto our YouTube channel. But more special than that, just we have this great giveaway going on. First time we've done this since April 2024 when we hit 250. But this week is a really, really special week for ESB because, as I've mentioned and teased, we're going to be introducing new content to our YouTube channel. And if you were with us for Extra Innings on Friday, I kind of broke the news of what's going to be happening with at least who's going to be hosting these new shows. And now I wanted to reveal to you what those shows are going to be. So, like I said on Friday, I'll say it again for those who didn't get the chance to hear it. Our very own, who's been with us for over a year now, helping us out with our spaces, Extra Innings, a Bronx Take, is now getting her own live stream here on the channel. And it'll be a Yankees-centric live stream called ESPNYY, The Clubhouse. And that is, of course, hosted by Sierra. The Clubhouse is going to be a fun one. We're going to get, it's a little bit more lax and a little less crazy than what we got going on here on Monday nights. We're going to be investing into a lot of, obviously a lot of news topics trending around the Yankees, but some fun news. There's going to be some fun segments here. There's one idea that I passed along to Joe, Corey, and Tom yesterday. And I tell you what, I can't wait for it to go live tomorrow night for the debut episode because, tomorrow night is debut. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time every week here on Empire State of Baseball. The YouTube channel is going to be ESPNYY, The Clubhouse, hosted by Sierra. Joe, we got connected to Sierra over a year ago. Mm-hmm. She's done a lot of great work for our channel. I think she's so deserving for her own show here. Yep. And guess what? I get to be her first guest on tomorrow's episode.
No, yeah. I mean, she's been phenomenal. She's just super smart, super passionate about baseball. And that's all you can ask for. She's definitely somebody that's going to come in. She's kind of, one of these people that's unique. I mean, she's female. She's really passionate about the Yankees. She's getting into the streaming space, which is unique. And we're going to do everything to support her and really, hope that she can just enjoy and let her natural ability to speak and relay what she loves into her craft, just like we do here. So we're really excited, and she's been phenomenal for us ever since she's come aboard.
100%. So that debut episode is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then while we're at it, so we cover Mondays at 8, we cover Tuesdays at 8, but we also are going to cover Wednesdays at 8. So we really have a true marathon here, Corey Favs, going on at Empire State of Baseball. And as we made the breaking news about a few weeks ago during our trade deadline special, Keith joined the family, and we announced that he was hosting a space that was going to go weekly. It started last week, did a great job with Queens Boulevard. Well, he's not done. He's got more work here. He's got his own live stream as well. And one that's kind of familiar to Keith's brand, one that is familiar to those who've been following Keith for a number of years now, because Uncomfortable Conversations is going to move over to Empire State of Baseball, ESPNYM's Uncomfortable Conversations. This starts Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m., hosted by Keith. Anything and everything about the New York Mets, Corey Favs. I can't wait for this one as well.
Oh, 100%. This is going to be a fun one. And what I love about Keith, and similar to you guys with Sierra, it's a different viewpoint. We're out here talking New York Mets and New York Yankees each and every Monday night. And there's two different personalities, Sierra for the Yankees and Keith for the Mets, both very passionate like we are for our respective teams, and both with, in some ways, a different viewpoint, different mindset of the team than maybe myself or maybe Joe. Keith's done a phenomenal job in the Mets community. You said it yourself. We just had the debut of Queens Boulevard last Thursday. It was a great space. I tuned in for the whole time and ended up running pretty long too. We were on that space for over an hour and a half, and it was constant conversation. So really looking forward to this one too. Keith does a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. So there you have it. So a whole new sketch. I'm going to have to start breaking out a TV guide to keep up with the content going on with ESB between the spaces and YouTube. But at least for YouTube, Monday through Wednesday, starting this week, we're dominating the airways. 8 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's Empire State of Baseball content that's going to be happening on YouTube, Instagram, and X. ESB, of course, every Monday at 8. The Clubhouse Tuesdays at 8, hosted by Sierra, and Uncomfortable Conversations, hosted by Keith, on Wednesdays moving forward. And of course, all the spaces we got going on. And guess what? We've only just begun here at Empire State of Baseball. And we're so blessed that you're all are part of the ride. Let's close it up with last licks. Corey, Joe, Tom, and I'll wrap this thing up. Corey, go ahead.
Listen, my last licks is I just hope Francisco Alvarez is okay, because he's been absolutely red hot since coming back. And it's just a shame. It's the second year in a row he hurt himself around in the bases. So fingers crossed he's okay.
Bench is clear in Pittsburgh, between Pittsburgh and Toronto, because Tommy Pham bat flipped a walk.
Always starts with that fucking guy.
Let's keep this winning series alive. Let's win 2 more series for the Yankees this week, and let's keep this rolling.
I agree. And honestly, for both teams, nothing like baseball when both teams are on top, right? Am I right here? Let's go Yankees. Let's go Mets. And let's go Sierra and Keith. Congratulations on the new show. Looking forward to it tomorrow and Wednesday. We will see you guys for everything ESB. Have a great night. Take care.